John, first I got to say thank you so much for doing this interview with me, especially because this is the first time you and I are getting a chance to talk. And I want to say right off the top, man, I consider you the best show host out there, whether it be in Canada or in the US. You have such a great positive vibe. You've got a cool, smooth approach. I love everything and how you handle all the situations, man. Where do you get that kind of essence to pull off what you do, especially when you're dealing with a show where literally anything can happen, and it has?
It does happen. You're right about that. First of all, you're way too generous with your words. Secondly, I think that anybody else who hosts a television show has now been discredited because I have no idea what I'm doing up there. Honestly, I haven't got a sniff. And if I was trying to be somebody else, you'd know because I'm a shitty actor. And I was told to just be authentic. And so that's what I fed into. I couldn't really try to be someone else because I had no idea how this was supposed to go. And so I just believed that they wanted me there for a reason. And so if I could just be myself and somehow be authentic, the reason why I was maybe asked to do that, play that role, was because of that level of authenticity, which had worked for me. So if I could feed into that and just be real, that's all folks want to see, is just somebody having fun who wants to celebrate, just like them, celebrate the best parts of our country and our connectivity.
And you definitely do that with that, and so do the contestants who are part of the Amazing Race Canada. When you look past for the last couple of years, how does it feel, though, to being able to say that in a lot of ways you are representing not just this nation, being able to be part of presenting what this nation looks like in so many different parts, but also siblings working together, friends working together, loved ones working together. And we get to see not just people working together, but under pressure, what can happen to these connections during those pressure times too. When you look at all that, my friend, how does it feel knowing that you are showing Canadian life at its purest form?
You're simmering it all down. Those relationships are put to the test to that breaking point. And those that fight nice do really well on the show. When you can have a disagreement, when you can, I guess, have a difference of opinion on something and still move forward with purpose, that right there is the hallmark of what we need to be feeding into, what needs to be showcased. And if it needs to be showcased through the medium of television on a reality show like The Amazing Race Canada, for Canadians to trigger on the fact that we're going to get way more done together than we are apart, then that's what it's going to take. And if I somehow get to be selfish and run around the country and do all of this stuff for that purpose alone, then it'll have been worth it. If all the other good things that can come out of that illustrative approach to celebrating Canadians, like the impetus to get out of your chair and from in front of your television screen, to get out there and explore, that could be a great byproduct. The notion that I'm always going to be able to get way more done with a collaborative approach to any task that I deem to be important in my life than I will be able to singularly, then that's a great takeaway. And the plethora of other key takeaways that could be realized through this television show. And I'm not here to try and pretend like, the medium is fraught with lots of things to celebrate, but this particular show is. This is what TV can be. And this is why when I hear folks and people say that they watch it with family, that makes me so proud. And I mean, can you imagine being an advertiser, being a part of a show like that, that celebrates your country, that brings people together, that people will PVR it and get in trouble if they watch it without their loved ones? Man, what a dream.
What has been your favorite moment for all the years that you've been, or all the seasons, I should say, that you've been hosting this? Has it been a moment, or can I even cheat a little and say your favorite couple and why?
Favorite couple, I don't have. Favorite moments happened at home watching it back as a fan. Like everybody else got to. Were some of my greatest moments of being a part of the Amazing Race Canada. They weren't even the ones that I got to experience firsthand. While awesome, the best stuff that I've seen on the show are things that I wasn't privy to, things that I didn't get to see in real time because I was elsewhere making the show. Things, for instance, like when Martina Sau was up that pole on, I think, the first episode, just being introduced. Look at, there's Goosey on my arm. Just being introduced to the ringer that she was about to face, that gauntlet that she was going to ultimately run down, and not being equipped with any of these previous experiences to draw upon for strength in that first challenge, in that first moment going up that timber with a rope, I think, and some cleated shoes. She was so high off the ground. She had maybe never found herself in that position before. She was terrified and she kept saying, I can't, I can't. And then she found the will and the courage to say a few clutch and key words. I can. Yeah, I can. I can. And she did. And she kept going up and up and up. And I'm standing in a room where there's no air conditioning right now. And I'm getting goosies because I'm connecting to the energy that I felt while watching it back. Because I was connecting to the energy that Martina was eliciting on the TV screen in that moment. And through time and space and through a medium like a television screen, which is just liquid crystals changing shapes, I was still able to connect to Martina's energy, to what she was showing all Canadians in that moment, that get out of your own way. And when you use words like I can't, I won't, I'm not good enough, it's going to be self-limiting. But when you flip the script and you change the word that you tell yourself, look at the result in real time. You're inspired by that stuff. And those are my favorite moments. Those are what the challenges are all about. And then the interaction between the racers and the communities in which they're flying through. That makes me so proud to watch my brothers and sisters race the way that they do, to react and respond to the people in the communities that the way that they do is brilliant. And it makes me proud to be from here.
Is that the secret to success of the show? What you said, why folks want to be part of this is those words, I can, I will.
Yeah. And then hearing your partner reverberate that same message is compounding. When you hear them say that to you and then you embody it yourself and repeat it, it's got an amplificatory effect. And then the people around you see that, hear that, feel that. And man, it abounds on the Amazing Race Canada. And there's been challenges that I thought, well, they're never going to be able to do this. This is bonkers. But watching one person get through it is inspiring enough and qualitative enough for everybody else witnessing it that they know that they can do it too. That they just need to dig deep sometimes. And witnessing it, if you've got people that are getting it done and achieving the end of a puzzle, others just visually watching somebody take off is both the fire and the impetus to continue to go on, but the realization that, man, they did it. They're not special. Let's get our asses in gear. Let's get out of here. And without fail, I don't think there's still a team out there performing a challenge that I'm aware of. They're all wrapped up now, so nobody's left for eternity.
So let's talk a little bit about who are some of our newer contestants who are going to be part of this. I definitely know one person who's part of a team, and of course it's somebody I've interviewed for many, many, many years, a Juno Award winner. She has done it all, especially in the last couple of years, and of course she is the queen of Canadian R&B.
Yes, Julie Black. I'll tell you what, the first time that I ever saw Julie was in Newfoundland at the 2010 Juno Awards when I was invited out by Insight Productions, CTV, to be a guest at those Junos. And what she showed that weekend was a part of the secret sauce that makes any good race team. And it's the ability to go with the flow. to be able to react to whatever is around you in a positive fashion. And Julie does that all day long. Summer solstice all day long. And the types of verbiage that she chooses to speak are truths, 100%. And so I got to watch Julie. I snuck in a back door. Somebody was connected and knew people at these clubs to get us into. It was fully booked. Julie couldn't get from Halifax to Newfoundland. It took her, I think, an entire day of travel to get from wherever she was to the Rock. And she had no luggage. She had been waylaid and sleeping on airport floors. And I think she'd been traveling for over 24 hours. And here she was performing. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And she was in the same clothes that she was in the previous day, performing. And this place was crammed. And the energy, look at, there's those bloody goosebumps again. Just thinking about that performance, one of the truly remarkable performances of all time. When I found out that she was going to be on the start line, I eventually shared that story with her, that I'd seen her perform and that it had left an indelible mark on both myself and my wife. And feeling the electricity of celebration and what her vocals brought to just this small venue was, you'll never forget something like that for as long as you live on the face of the earth. And so I have that memory to treasure.
You know, that's the other great thing about the Amazing Race Canada. It so does represent Canadians. It represents the melting pot. You watch this show and the folks that you see are from all walks, backgrounds, relationships, everything. And to me, that's what makes this show so special, is the fact that you have this melting pot competing with each other, but it's just competition. There's no hate, anger, none of that. It's competition, and everybody comes together at the end.
It's true. And Canadian society is very much that. And I like to use the expression a patchwork, or even a tartan. You know, the Scottish tartan has all these distinct individual colors. Alone, they are just that. When you put them together in a tartan, aligned in these symmetrical squares, that's what the Canadian landscape is. We don't ask people to check themselves at the door to come in and be a part of our orange goo. We ask them to come in and embrace Canadian society and weave yourself into this patchwork, into this tartan of cultures. We don't want you to check it at the door. We want you to imbibe us, to teach us, to illustrate how your culture, from wherever it is that you're from, can be brought into this patchwork, into this tartan of Canadiana. And that's where the strength comes from, is this individual collectiveness. Not necessarily an undefined goo, but a brilliant patchwork of a kaleidoscope of cultures and peoples and individuals who together are much more than they are apart, who as a singular thread is only a brilliant red, but when you put it together with all these other ones, man, there's your kaleidoscope of power right there.
So as we're slowly wrapping this up, can you give us a little hint on something special that's going to happen in this season that we can salivate on? I mean, we can salivate on the whole series, but just a little something.
You want to know who wins?
Oh, I don't want to go that far.
Let's do it. I'm going to tell you right now. Canadians. Canadians win once again the Amazing Race Canada. You can bank on it.
Oh, my goodness. You're the best. Look, before we go, one more question. What do you hope loyal fans are going to get from this season that maybe they've never gotten from any other season before?
Well, if it hasn't happened yet, get off your seat, move your feet, get out there and explore because, well, as the case has been showing, we don't know what we've got sometimes until it's gone. So get out there for that reason and that reason alone. Connect with your brothers and sisters, find out what they've been up to, share some love, a hug, and an outdoor fire.
I don't know how you guys did this with the pandemic and everything going on, but somehow you did it. You brought back something that is familiar for us, something that brings families together and also proves that when you have that inner drive, you can do anything that you want. My friend, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much for all the folks at CTV for bringing back this great series. Cannot wait to watch again. And like I said, my girl Julie, I cannot wait to see what she's going to do. Congratulations, and thank you again for the interview.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.